YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with another TierMaker video. This one's for the pass rushers. We've been going through a lot of defensive positions, been uploading those to the channel. We have a playlist full of these videos, so that should pop up on your screen right now if you haven't seen any of those. Check them out. And before we get started with these pass rushers, 40K is our subscriber goal by the end of this year. It'd be much appreciated if you can help us out and subscribe. We have daily sports videos, NFL, NBA, full coverage during the NFL season. I can't wait. Clicking that like button and checking out our Twitter, as you can see there, that also be much appreciated. Let's get on to these pass rushers. Again, for all these, I don't actually create these. I kind of just put these guys in tiers from somebody's tier maker they already made. So sometimes they leave some good guys off the list. We can discuss those guys in the comments if you guys want to. But we got elite through below average, and we'll go in order here. Mario Addison of the Panthers is first. I think he's an average pass rusher. That's where I got him. You know, the Panthers, I think, are trying to upgrade, and that's what they're trying to do, changing their defense a little bit, getting Brian Burns in there, so they know they can upgrade from what they got, but still a solid piece for their pass rush unit. Derek Barnett is next. This is a tough one already because I like Derek Barnett. I was very high on him out of Tennessee. But we haven't seen a whole bunch of him. I mean, he was a solid piece to getting their Super Bowl victory, mainly part of the rotation, and then he was hurt last year. Man, that's tough. Derek Barnett is a tough one because, you know what? I think this is kind of going forward. You know, this is for the upcoming season. I think he plays at a very good level this year. That's kind of tough to put him in there. We'll see who else goes in that category. From what he's shown us, not really close to that, but I think he can play at that level this year as long as he stays healthy. So we will see. Michael Bennett is next. We haven't seen a whole bunch from him over the years. I think he's really good stopping the run. Not going to get a whole bunch of, which is part of it. You can't just go off sacks, which he can rack up some sacks. Now on the Patriots, I think he has a good season, and I think he's been a good pass rusher. I'm going to put him there. He's probably on the top end of that group. Joey Bosa, and I see we have some rookies, and his brother Nick Bosa's in here, so we'll talk about the rookies at the end. I wish they had more of the rookies. If you're going to put some of them in there, you might as well put all the first-rounders in there. But Joey Bosa, I know what he's capable of. He's definitely capable of being elite, actually. Haven't really seen too much of it yet when he came. Yeah, I know he was pretty good when he came in off injury last year. Man, some of these are tough. I'm kind of back and forth between borderline elite and very good because we haven't seen a whole bunch. Can he stay healthy? I'm going to put him under very good. I think people hype him up maybe a little bit, but we know what he's capable of. And then we have a Bronco. This is Bradley Chubb. I think Bradley Chubb plays at a very good level this year. I think he's on his way to being borderline elite, then to elite. Frank Clark, switching teams. He had a really good season last year, really, really good season, but we haven't really seen too many of those seasons from him, and now he's kind of switching teams with a team that hasn't been, I guess they produce some good pass rushers, but it's a totally different look too. It's hard for me to put him, even though he's capable of, and what we saw last year, I'd probably put him borderline elite, but some changes, and since that's the only borderline elite season we saw, put him at very good, probably the top end of this group. Dante Fowler, I have under average. Pretty clutch in moments last year, just not a whole bunch of production, which I guess it's not always about it's not about the stats, but production I'd say is a little different. So put him under average. I've noticed that there's pretty much just good pass rushers in this group, good to great. So I don't know if this was meant to have a below average. So far, I'm not seeing anybody that may go. We'll see. Maybe rookies will be there. Kind of skimming through. So mainly average to elite in this group, so that's pretty good. Jadeveon Clowney, another tough one, but I'm gonna go with him borderline elite. Some people may look at the sacks, maybe he doesn't get as many sacks as maybe some of the other guys, but he's an excellent run stopper, elite run stopper all over the field. See him line up in different spots. In that playoff game, he was really the only player playing on that defense. I saw that a lot towards the end of the year and end of games. Really, he was really the only one making the big impact. So I like Jadeveon Clowney as borderline elite because he's a total package. He brings everything, and I think he's actually improving on his pass rush year to year, kind of getting his position. At first they weren't really sure where they can play him, and you can play him multiple different spots. So that's the good thing about him too. So I like him borderline elite. Think he takes another step up, possibly maybe slight. He's already very good. Carlos Dunlap, I think he's just an average pass rusher. D Ford, I thought had an elite season last year, but that was kind of like Frank Clark, but even more on that. That was like he kind of struggled before that year, and he wasn't really getting it going. We expected more, than all of a sudden out of nowhere he had a ridiculous season. Not involved a lot in the run stopping game, but was an excellent pass rusher. A lot of pressure even when he didn't get the sacks. But going back to it, he's on a different team now. Are we going to go back to the other D Ford that we've kind of been seeing, or is it that year? So he's capable of having an elite season, but it's hard to see. Change of scenery, and he struggled in the past. I'm going to put him under very good. The run stopping kind of brings him down a little bit too, but kind of in the same boat of Frank Clark. Two totally different style pass rushers. That's why the Chiefs didn't want D4, they wanted Frank Clark, but that's where I got him. Myles Garrett, I think, could be on his way to being elite. It's hard to say he's borderline elite already. He can get there. I think he's towards the top end of this very good section right now. Brandon Graham. I think he was elite. The Super Bowl year, he was ridiculous. That was an elite season for him. Is he elite in general? Is he elite going into the season? I think it's hard to say decline because he's still a very good player, but maybe a little bit. I'm going to put him under very good. So we got two Eagles under very good. I know people are probably surprised I have Derek Barnett. I'm a big believer in Derek Barnett, so maybe he's a little higher than people expect. And you got Everson Griffin, another one. 2 years ago, maybe, considered elite, 4-3 defensive end. Freakish dude. And then last year, I think he played the first 2 games of the season, had a sack in both, and then he had his incident. When he came back, he was not the same. So which Everson Griffin are we going to get? Which one are we going to get? Like, he's shown signs he can be elite. Not that I'd even think about putting him in elite in this category. But then at the end of last year, when he just came back after his incident, he probably played at an average level. So what he's capable of is more than very good, and I think he kind of, with the season and off season and to figure it out, I think he can figure it out. I will put him there. Capable of more, though, but also capable of less, as we saw. So that's a very strange one, but we know what he can do. Jerry Hughes, I like his game. He seems like he's getting better and better. He actually can take a step up from this year, but I like him at very good. Danielle Hunter, the other Vikings defensive end, is just an absolute freak. He's getting better and better every year at a young age. It was ridiculous last year. I'm going to put him at borderline elite. I think he's one of the better 4-3 defense end football. He may be the best, actually. It seems like the best ones are 3-4 outside pass rushers or 3-4 outside linebackers, but it's crazy because he's young. He can actually get better, and he came in the league pretty much already an elite run stopper. The development of his pass rush game has been just insane. Melvin Ingram is another one. You may go look at his sacks after this and be confused on why I put him at borderline elite, but it's more than about the sacks. A very solid run stopper, but he lines up in so many different spots. He's the most important player on that Chargers defense. Does so many things for that team, makes everyone else better. Again, if you go look at the sacks, guys like who he's with, Danielle Hunter is going to get a lot more sacks, which Danielle Hunter does stop the run at a high level. Ingram does that, but he plays multiple positions. He'll play a D end. He'll play an outside linebacker. Actually seen him line up at a D tackle spot. Actually seen him line up in an inside linebacker spot before. Pretty ridiculous, and he's pretty instinctive. So I got him borderline elite. I guess more to his pass rush game would make him be elite for me. Since this is an edge rush tier list, it's weird because if you just talk about football player in general, maybe he is elite because what he does. So that's a tough one, actually. I like his game a lot. Trey Flowers, he's had some good years, but then last year, kind of going back to like what we said about Frank Clark, pretty similar style player too. Last year was a ridiculous season for him. Are we going to continue to get that? I know he switched teams too. So I put him on a very good. He's a very good pass rusher. If he has a season like last year, maybe we're talking borderline elite. Chandler Jones, another tough one. Just consistently getting production. Man, this is tough. He could play either spot too. 3-4 outside linebacker, 4-3 defensive end. It's tough. I'm thinking either elite or borderline elite. It's hard to put him elite. It's tough to do that, but he's been consistent. He can play either position. Wasn't super flashy last year. I guess could be a little better in the run game. We're going to put him borderline elite. Cameron Jordan, I'd say was elite maybe 2 years ago. I don't want to say decline, but maybe hasn't been the same, but still been really good. It's hard to put him borderline elite. I'm going to put him very good. I think he's right there with Trey Flowers, that level. Frank Clark, too. Jason Pierre-Paul, put under good. Pretty productive season last year. Will be out. Supposed to be out for actually most this year, so I guess if it's based off this year and if he's out for the whole year, maybe we shouldn't rank him. But that, to be fair, that's where I would rank him. Ryan Kerrigan, been pretty consistent. 3-4 outside linebacker. I'm going to put him under very good. He's probably near the top. I feel like I'm saying that for quite a few guys. A lot of guys under very good. So this is a really good list of pass rushers, but nobody elite yet. Is that that's Matthew Judon. I like him under good. He can play at the level of very good, though. And we get an elite guy, finally. Khalil Mack. Every part of the game, he can play both positions. Like I said, every part of the game. You've seen him even cover, brings the pressure, gets the sacks, forces fumbles in the run game. Just freakish dude, playing any defense. Probably can play any linebacker spot. Elite. Harold Landry is a guy I was really high on as a prospect, too. Didn't get too much action last year. I expect him to get that. I mean, I'm going to put him under good for now, but he honestly can actually play kind of like Derek Barnett, but Derek Barnett's got an extra year on him, or two, so he actually can play at that level. So it wouldn't shock me if he played at a very good level this year, because if he gets all the snaps that he deserves. I was super high on him in last year's draft class. I couldn't believe where the Titans got him, so that's definitely one to watch out for. Yannick Ngakoue. And it's funny because I see Calais Campbell's not on here. Calais Campbell was actually on the defensive lineman thing I did, and I didn't rank him because he's not a defensive lineman. He's a pass rusher. He can play a 3-4 defensive end, but for the Jaguars, he plays a 4-3 defensive end, which means he's a pass rusher, opposite of Yannick. So I would put them both in the same spot, and that is very good. Both capable of more. Calais Campbell has been kind of borderline elite to me. I think, getting up there in age, maybe a slight, bump down. So that puts him in that very good section for this year. And then Yannick, I think's right there. Him and actually Danielle Hunter are pretty similar style. Actually, I see some similarities. I think Danielle's just got more of a total package. So very good to maybe borderline elite. I think he can play on the same level as Hunter, because I see a similar style, so he can take that next step. But I like his game as well. Terrell Suggs isn't the same as he used to be. I'll put him under average. He used to be elite, borderline elite at times, maybe very good a couple years ago. But he's kind of fell down here. Not too much going for him. Demarcus Lawrence, borderline elite for me is right where he fits. He needs to stay more consistent to me. He's very good. More than very good, because that's actually a section here. He's above that. Borderline elite. I think a shortage on the true 4-3 ends. I think him and Danielle Hunter possibly battling for that top spot. Looking through the rest of these, I think those two are the top 4-3 defensive ends. I think both of them need to stay more consistent. One game they'll have like 3 sacks, and you're like, he got another one. That's what I'm saying when I'm watching these guys. He actually just got another one. Then they got a couple weeks where they're not doing too much. So Lawrence, he good pass deflector too. Really good at reading the quarterback. It's just hard for me to put him elite. Is he on Khalil Mack's level? Are these guys on Khalil Mack's level? I think they can get there. But I'm putting him on borderline elite. Want to see a little more consistency, but obviously borderline elite is what I think of him. Takk McKinley, another one that he has not been very good, but I think he plays at a very good level this year. I really think he does. I think he's going to get double-digit sacks this year. I think this is his year. I think he's one of my favorite breakout guys this year. And I noticed Vic Beasley isn't in here. And I would still put Vic Beasley under very good, even though he's kind of had a couple off years. But we see what he's capable of, and I think Takk McKinley stepping up could actually help Vic Beasley step up. So, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm really liking that Falcons pass rush. So that's one to watch this year. I think he plays at this level. We're going to rank these guys once we're at the end here. Von Miller, finally, we're going to get another elite guy. I think he's very, very similar in the style of Khalil Mack. I'm going to give the edge to Khalil Mack. But very similar style, and that's crazy because Vic Fangio, who just coached Khalil Mack and the Chicago Bears, is now coaching the Denver Broncos. Very similar style players in that defense. That's why it's going to be interesting to watch. So that's where I'll put him. TJ Watt has been, he's been impressive to me. I did not expect him to play where he's been playing this early. So super impressive. He's actually probably going to be, by the end of this year, we might be talking borderline elite. I'm going to put him under very good, but we're going to rank these guys. I guess there is a difference between some of them. Some of them I'm kind of just predicting to step up, to play at this level, and some of them we already know are capable of that. Zadarius Smith, another one of those guys that was, kind of like we talked about with D. Ford, Frank Clark, and Trey Flowers. They had pretty good years, but then they had a ridiculous year last year. I think it's like the same thing, but a little bit of a step down. I think he's had some okay years, and then not a ridiculous year like maybe like a D. Ford. I think had an elite season. Zadarius Smith did not have an elite season, but a pretty darn good one. I'm going to put him under good. I think maybe one more year in the Packers. Defense can probably step up to very good, so playing this year in his first year there. And then we got some rookies. I think Bosa's tough. I'm going to start him off in good. I worry about the injuries. Cleveland Farrell, I'll start with average. And then LJ Collier, I'm going to put him in average. People may say below average because he was kind of people expect a second-round pick. Seahawks take him first. First, I think he fits that defense perfectly. Second, he's going to be the guy because they needed somebody to be the guy. So he's going to be the guy. He's going to get his opportunity. He's going to get some production. I wish they put Josh Allen in here. I would put Josh Allen or good just because who he's going to split with, two other really good Jags pass rushers, but he's capable of being elite early in his career. So that was another rookie they could have put in here. And then Montez Sweat, another one that comes to mind. Rashawn Gary, depending on what position he plays, he's more of a guy that's raw. It's going to take some time to develop. But yeah, Sweat I think Sweat could actually be the most productive one out of the group, him and Kerrigan. That's going to be fun to watch, so I wish he was on here too. So before I rank these guys, something to notice, no below average guys on this list. So really good pass rushers here on this list, only 2 elite. So like I said, we're keeping Khalil Mack 1, we're going Von Miller 2. And then the next group of guys, pretty interesting here. Man, we'll go Chandler Jones, we'll go Melvin Ingram just because what he does for the team. Danielle Hunter, Jadeveon Clowney, and Demarcus Lawrence is where I'm going to rank those guys. Under the very good section, I think I'm going to go Ryan Kerrigan at the top on the very good section. I'm going to go with Myles Garrett steps up. He's the number 2 in this group. Joey Bosa is going to be 3. Then we're going to go with... It's tough because a lot of these guys, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. TJ Watt has been ridiculous. Pretty darn impressive because I wasn't expecting that. Derek Barnett, I'm not putting him, haven't decided him last, but I'm kind of moving him down. We'll go Frank Clark, D. Ford, Bradley Chubb, Brandon Graham, Everson Griffin. No, I like Jerry Hughes. We're going to move Jerry Hughes right up in here. Trey Flowers, Cam Jordan, Yannick Ngakoue, Tack McKinley. I like the list like that. That's how I'm going to keep it. The good list here, we're going to go with... We'll go Michael Bennett at the top. We'll go Zadarius Smith, Harold Landry, Judon. I don't know if Pierre Paul plays, so we're going to put him last. And then for the average group, we're going to go Dunlap, Addison, Fowler, Cleveland Farrell. Actually, Farrell might be right there right away. We're going to go that. That's where we're going to go. So let me know your guys' thoughts here. Anybody want to talk about that's on this list. Let me know your tiers, where I missed something, where you would change something. I like seeing all that in the comments. We already saw the subscriber goal, but click that button to subscribe. Be much appreciated. Help us out. Anyone that does subscribe, we appreciate you very, very much. Got daily sports videos here at the Goat House, NFL, NBA. Full coverage in season for the NFL. I just can't wait to do those videos like we did last year. So much fun. So I can't wait. See you guys in the next video. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.